Tonight, and Marietta's history was on full display this Memorial Day weekend. The Castle Museum says hundreds of people took part in the historic Marietta tour of homes. It was a chance to step inside some of the area's most unique houses. Scott Britton, the executive director, says the tour is not just a walkthrough. It helps connect homeowners and visitors to the past. Organizers research each home and the families who lived there, then share those stories in a booklet handed out during the tour. Despite the rainy weather, Britton says between 350 and 400 people were there over the weekend.
We have our historic Marietta tour of homes that we started in 2018, just kind of to show off the rich history and really amazing architecture and individual collections that different people have compiled over the years. And starting in 2018, going through this year, despite the weather and some challenges with gas prices, we've had people doing staycations. The interest level in history, especially with America's 250 this year, it's kind of revitalized, just like when I was a kid, the 1776 to 1986 bicentennial. It's the same type of thing. People are rediscovering some of those stories right here in their backyards, and making those connections really is what is important.
Britton encouraged visitors who want to continue exploring local history to check out the Castle Museum's website for upcoming events and programs.